Hey Sean, you a genius, nigga.
Pop this open. Yo, welcome back into the woods, guys. It's your boy, motherfucking Cuban. We're back at it again. Guys, we got a special guest in the house. But, before I introduce my guest, I have to, cheers. 805. I'm waiting for the sponsorship. Whenever you guys ready, I'm ready too. So tap in with me. So we got a special guest in the house. My boy Mikey told me to get him in here. I seen his Instagram. I seen everything he does. So we got Jerich on the house, up and coming MMA fighter.
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, anytime, man. Any fighter are welcome in my podcast, man. Cause I was a fighter too at one point, and then if you could tell now, I'm getting big. I need to get back. I need to get back to the gym, man. I need to get back to that gym because I'm literally getting a beer belly. Because all I see is beer in my house, but
got the dab going on with the kids coming,
Oh yeah, I had to put that whole mentality in my mind because I have a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just, but now I can't. Like, I don't even. I have to throw away some of my shirts because I don't fit them no more.
Yeah.
Because the whole time since I was in high school, it was small, extra small. Now I'm like going to a fucking extra large.
Extra large.
So yeah, man.
My time's gonna come there sometime soon, brother. So we ain't that far apart.
So just to I can explain to you what the WOODZ is. The WOODZ is the where you at now. It's my apartments. I've been living here for about 20 years or so. So like if you were to text me like, hey B, where you at? I'd be like, I'm in the woods, man. Come through. So that's the way in the woods. The WOODZ is what made my boy Martin that started the podcast with me. So stories that go back into that. That's why I became a fighter. Just because I just love to fight. So just let's get to know you, man. Where are you from? Where you stay at now?
Okay, so I was originally born in Riverside, California. That's where I was born, but like I've lived all over the world.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Moreno Valley for probably most of my childhood until I was probably like maybe let's say 8, 9 years old, and then I moved to Lake Elsinore, California.
Okay.
My mom ended up dating a guy. And we ended up going out there to stay with him. I was there for probably 2, maybe 3 years. I can't remember exactly. So I was there, and then, but what had happened was he ended up going to prison.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then we were staying at a house, and I was too young at the time to notice or to know what was going on.
Yeah.
But my mom's boyfriend at the time was actually cheating with my mom. Consistently for like a long time, but like, and he would do it like, he would bring it was actually the landlord of the house that we were staying at.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No, like I said, I was only a kid, and I didn't know what's going on. Yeah, I thought that was just like a friend. Yeah. But like, I mean, I seen all that shit, like with the giggling and then like she, crazy. Like there's a time where I seen her walk out like half naked, and it was some crazy shit, man. But yeah, like so. Yeah, he ended up going to prison because I think I was in about 5th grade, 4th or 5th grade. I ended up going to a little bit 6th grade too, but it was at 5th grade. I had a friend, and he would come over. He lived like down the street from me. Yeah. And we'd play in our backyard, and he had 2 sisters, and apparently there's one time we had a big property too, like a big property in the backyard.
And there was just in what was this?
Lake Elsinore, yeah. And like remind you, I was a kid, and we had a big property in the backyard. And one night, it's like one of the summer nights, me, my friend, and then the 2 sisters and my mom's boyfriend decided to go camp in the backyard because like, we were kids, we wanted to do kid activities, play around, have a campfire or whatever. And he gave us that, but we had tents out there, and then it was just me and my friend in one tent, and then as weird as it is, it was the 2 sisters and my mom's boyfriend in that tent. Oh, yeah. And then we were there having the campfire, and then it was probably like maybe 11 or something at night. Yeah. And then me and my friend decided just to go back in the house and sleep in there. I guess we weren't comfortable. That. And then we went back, and then probably like, it was like maybe like 2 or 3 in the morning. We were staying in my room, and then the 2 sisters came in, and they went in, they like barged the door open, and my friend's name was Zach. And he's like, they're like tapping on my friend. He's sleeping on the floor. He's like, Zach, all right, come on, we're gonna go home now. And then they just went home, and then I didn't really think of anything about it, you know what I'm saying? And then my mom's boyfriend was right there, like, you know, didn't know anything about it happened. But then I noticed that, like, I wasn't allowed to talk to my friend anymore.
Oh,
like, he wasn't allowed to come over.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't allowed, I just wasn't allowed.
Yeah, you couldn't be his friend.
I wasn't allowed to have contact with him, you know? Like, I was going to an elementary school at the time, not too far from where I lived. And he didn't go to that same one. He went to a different one. But, you know, there was, like, probably maybe, like, I don't know, sometime after that, it wasn't too long, but, like, I got pulled into the office, and I got pulled into a single room.
Yeah.
And then these 2...
fucking white boys came in.
I would say fucking, like, 2, like FBI agents came in or something like that, you know what I'm saying? It was a lady, and I think it was a man. Yeah. Yeah, but it was for sure a lady, I don't know the other one, but it was just 2 people that came in, and they were asking me about my my mom's boyfriend, and then just like, you know, some like weird pedophile shit, like, hey, has he ever touched you before inappropriately? And you know, and I was like, I remember one of the questions I stuttered, I was like, no, but it was no, he never did anything to me. And she's like,
but you're nervous.
Yeah, I was nervous. She's like, she was like, are you sure? Because you kind of mumbled and stuttered right there. It's okay, you can tell us, you know. And I'm like, no, nothing's ever happened. And remind you, like, my mom and them were still together, you know, we're still living in the same house, and he's probably still cheating with the landlord at the same time as well. This dude was like a weirdo, but like, he did take care of me. But anyways, remind that, but I went home later that day. It's not the same day, but probably maybe a couple more time went by, and then I ended up telling, I guess my mom, he was stressed out or something, but it was probably about that, like, they're probably on his ass, because obviously the 2 sisters went to go tell the daddy, and like, something was up, so, and then I never brought it up, like, when they called me, because like I said, I'm a kid, you don't know what the fuck happens, you know, and then, I brought it up to my mom's boyfriend when he was like stressed out. I was like, yeah, these 2 cops came in and he wanted to ask me about you, like, blah, blah. And he's like, what? And he's like, all stressed out. He's like, should have told me. He's like, you know, they're trying to put me in jail. And like, and I was like, shit, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a kid. Yeah. But anyways, fast forward to that. He ended up going to jail, prison, I don't know, either one. Apparently, I don't know the full story, but obviously it had something to do with the 2 girls. Maybe he touched them or probably fucking, you know, flashed them. Did something. And me and my moms actually went to go visit him in the jail or the prison where he was staying at. You know, we went there, and I remember everything vividly, you know, just like going there, singing. There was a room, like just in the movies, you know, behind the glass, and then you talk on the phone. And, excuse me. But then, I remember my mom was talking to him, and then after she was done talking to him, he put me on the phone, and he was broken down. He was in tears. He was emotional because he probably knew that he fucked up. Like, you know, he threw his life away. And then I remember vividly, like he was just crying, and he told me to put my hand on the glass. And then
like a movie shit.
Yeah, and then he put his hand on the glass too, because regardless of that, he did care about me. He did take care of me. He raised me, and then I give him credit to that, because he never did anything to me, but he did raise me. He did take care of me, make sure I was fed, put clothes on my back. He gave me, even spoiled me, you know, like I was my own kid with my own room, own big TV.
You have brothers and sisters or no?
Yeah. Oh, in the house
at the time.
In the house that we were living at, it was just me and then them. But I do have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Okay. But they live in the Philippines. I'm the youngest one. I'm the only one to be born and raised here in America. Oh, okay. Yeah, and
so you're the youngest one.
Yeah, I'm the youngest. And
then your people stay.
Yeah. They got a crazy.
So you Filipino?
Yeah, Filipino.
Oh, that's I don't know why, bro, but I fuck with Filipino. Yeah. Like, I fuck with Filipino heavily, bro. Like I don't know for some reason, man. Like, you know, like I don't know. I like. I always talk about like fucking like my past, or like when, like, you know, I don't know if you live in your past life. Yeah. I always say to people, like, you know, I'm Filipino. I was the mob. Like all this shit, because I like the shit that I like. I fucks with Filipino like people for heavily, man. Yeah. Like I love.
I appreciate it, brother. Like us Filipinos, we love that. You know
the thing is, I think it's an island thing. You feel me? Because I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I fucks with like Samoans. Like everybody that's an islander, you know what I'm saying? So like you guys are islanders too, so I was like It's so crazy.
Yeah, you know, maybe deep down we all have the same gene.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to start saying.
Yeah.
But you were saying you went to the prison and
yeah. So we went to the prison. And we were at that moment where he put, and I remember he was there and like he was broken down. I seen a tear go down his eyes.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what he said honestly, but that was the last time I ever seen him. So after me and my mom's left, I haven't seen him ever since. Who knows if he's still in prison or if he's out now? It's been over 50.
Yeah.
It was probably like 2007 when this happened, you know. But we went back and like I said earlier, he was cheating on my mom with the landlord because we actually went to the landlord's house a couple of times. Yeah, they had kids too. Like he'd say, "Oh, you can go play with the kids," but really he's probably in the house fucking with. Yeah. And my mom was working, you know, and she wouldn't. Apparently, the landlord wouldn't take money from the landlord or my mom, or I guess she didn't want us there because she was cheating, so she kicked us out, and then she gave us an eviction. But I really don't know the whole story behind it. But this time I was barely going into 6th grade, and I was going to 6th grade by myself, you know. And then
I don't know why I keep thinking that you're like. I know you say you're Lake Elsinore, but I don't know why I'm like in my head I'm thinking like fucking up north. I don't know. I don't know why.
I haven't been there since that time, so I really don't know if anything's changed. But yeah, we were getting ready. My mom was the only person that was moving everything out, so I couldn't help her because we were going to go stay with my cousins out here in Moreno Valley when the whole thing happened. So, like I said, I was in the process of going to school. You know, I even skipped school a couple times. I didn't really have to go because the whole shit that was going on. My mom still had to go to work at the same time, move everything out by herself. And eventually, once the time came, I just went to my cousins and I stayed there. And then she couldn't even get everything out, you know, like I left everything there, like all my toys, I think my TV or something, like all my mattresses, like she couldn't get anything out, you know, like she only got like the essentials. And then I remember we came back like probably 3 weeks later, there's already a whole ass family in there living, but they had kids too. I mean, hopefully
they enjoy the fucking toys
I mean, when we drove by, like the first thing we saw was our mattresses out in the front near the dumpster and shit, so they obviously just tossed that shit out. But like, you know, I saw that they had like a lot of kids. It was just like some white family that moved in. But hopefully, you know, our remainder of my stuff can do them well, you know?
So you grew up in California, basically?
Yeah.
And then earlier, before we started, you said your mom remarried, or?
Yeah. So to get to that, we ended up going, like I said, to my cousins. Yeah. I went there, and I ended up going to school here in Moreno Valley.
What school did you go to?
Mountain View Middle School.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 24. 24, yeah. I'll be 25.
I went to Mountain View. But I'm 29.
Yo, yeah.
So like, we probably just seen each other.
Probably just barely there, you know what I'm saying? But so I was going to school there. Just my mom was there too, living. We were all living the same. At the time, I had a big family living in that one house. Just you know, us, me and my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, like a lot of us. And eventually, my mom ended up meeting what it ended up being my stepdad. His name was Jason. He was in the Navy. I don't know how they met, whatever, but they started dating, whatever, and stuff like that. And then you know, that's when my whole life started it's gonna change, you know. So like he finally realized, like, all right. So I hated. I knew I wasn't gonna like when I first seen him. Like, you know.
I think I feel like because my mom married this guy, and I was like, I fucking hate this dude. Yeah. But then after that, it was like, oh, this dude's pretty cool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wasn't the case with that.
Oh no! Oh shit! Never mind. Hold on.
Shit, bro. Yeah, but
so you know.
But he ended up, you know, he ended up getting an apartment in Point Loma, San Diego. Okay. So we ended up moving with him to Point Loma, and I was there for, I believe, 2 years. From 2009 and 2010, we got a small apartment. I went to the middle school right there. The middle school is literally right across from our apartment, so that was very convenient. And at the time, I was very heavy into skateboarding, so I made a lot of friends there. And you know, San Diego is by far the beautifest place I've ever lived.
I love San Diego. My dad stays in Oceanside.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place. Even to this day, I've lived all over the world, and I'll talk about that later. But like, it's still the most nicest place I've ever seen. You know, but it is probably the most expensive. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I was a kid. I wasn't fucking paying anything. But like, you know, I was there, and then he got stationed, you know, out overseas, and it was my mom. My mom was still working. It was a good life. You know, I mean, just going to school, skating with my friends. You know, my mom would give me like, you know, $10. I go to fucking the taco shop, get me 2 California burritos, you know, go home, go back on my Xbox 360, play Grand Theft Auto. It was a good life, man. Like, just, you know, And then once my time came up there, that's when we had to go to Washington State.
Okay.
You know, and I ended up going to Bremerton, Washington first, and then that shit changed me forever, you know, because I was never the same person after I lived in that state.
Why is that?
Because
Washington, like up north.
At Washington State, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not DC.
No.
I love.
You ever been there before?
Yes, I've been to Seattle.
Yeah.
But
Seattle's nice.
I love that weather. I'm that type of guy. Like I just wanna I like when it rains and I like when it's.
Oh really?
I love that. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went 2000. I think it was 19.
2019? Wow, that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, right when the pandemic hit.
Oh really?
Like literally, we flew back and Washington, Seattle got hit hard.
Really?
Like then I'm like, oh shit, we were just there yesterday.
That's an overpopulated city right there. I actually been there a couple of times.
Yeah, I love that. I love Washington. I love Oregon too.
Yeah.
So you moved out there and it changed your life. How did that happen?
Because well, you just said you love that, but I guess it wasn't for me. But like I said, I'm a California kid.
Yeah,
you know? I grew up skating with my friends, you know, and then all of a sudden Washington State's a rainy state. It's cloudy. It rains like 85% of the year, you know what I'm saying? And you know, if you ever been to other cities over there, the streets and the sidewalks, they're not made the same.
Yeah.
Because the fact that Washington State is considered a rainy state, they construction the streets and the sidewalks so it can get used to that rain. So where I stayed at, the streets and the sidewalks are made out of gravel. It wasn't if you go right here and you see the regular concrete sidewalk, it wasn't like that in Washington State. Only in probably certain areas, but a lot of it is just all gravel. The streets you see here, it's all, I don't know what that's called, but it's gravel, hard as gravel, and I couldn't skate on that. And the reason for it is because it can give friction to the tires of the
so
car.
Yeah,
because it rains most of the year.
Yeah. So that state had to be up more up north and kind of going to almost to. I mean, the city that you were at, it was closer to the border or what, or closer to the.
It was across, because you take a ferry to go to Seattle and it'd only be an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was just in a low key. Like I said, it was only a hard time for me because
just the weather.
No, I was a new kid. You know what I'm saying? I was a new kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't know nobody, man. And I was actually I was bullied and shit like that. And at the time, I was a small ass kid. You know.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fighter at this point. I was some scrawny ass skinny kid. You know. You know, kind of ugly too, but you know, and I just went there and I couldn't get around, man. And I couldn't fit in and shit like that, and all that shit eventually is what led to me getting into the hobby of fighting. Yeah, because
So I mean, to not cut you off, but because you're talking about your fighting, it's the same way for me, man. I went through a bad depression. Yeah. You know, I went. One of my cousins got killed in front of me.
Oh shit.
So it was, but as Cubans, we give the dead people, the spirits, fucking everything, right? Yeah. So my cousin, his last words was "Don't cry."
Don't cry.
So I was all right, cool. So you know, I thought he was gonna make it, and they took him in the ambulance, and by the time he hit the corner, he was dead. And nobody told us that. So we were oh, they took us to the fucking police station because it was a shooting. They were asking us shit.
You mind if I ask what happened? He was shot?
He was shot, yeah. He was shot. I was everybody that was in front of the house was got shot. Yeah. I heard the bullets hit me
Was this here?
In LA.
In LA?
Yeah.
Was it drive-by or?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the guy thought that my cousin was another gangbanger, but my cousin was the peacemaker. You know, I was the gangbanger. Me and my other cousin was the gangbangers and shit. He was the one that you should stop doing that. You should go to school. You should do this. You should do that. Yeah. And he was the older cousin. He was he was my brother is the oldest. No, my brother's second oldest out of all the. Nah, I'm lying to you. The people that my cousins because I have an uncle that has 25 kids. Yeah. So the people that we grew up with, my brother's the oldest. Yeah. And it was my cousin Jimmy. So then, but I follow his footsteps, right? Yeah. So we were out and about, boom, when everything happened. They took us to the police stations asking us questions. So I went through this depression. At the time, my mom actually, you know how I told you that guy was pretty cool? My mom's. I lied to you because he actually be my mom.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why I said this guy was pretty cool. The only reason why I say he was pretty cool because he gave me money.
Yeah.
Like he would give me $50 to throw the trash away. So every time I throw the trash away, he would give me $50.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, so I'll go to my room and bought a bunch of trash, and he was like, hey, I'm gonna take the. I got you.
Kids don't question anything. You just give them like money in front of them. You know.
Bro, like at the end of the week, I had like fucking like $300 in my pocket.
I remember when I was in kindergarten, $1 to me was like $100. You know, like you got a bag of Skittles and call it that. You know.
Yep. So I was going through the Dead Depression. Before my cousin passed, I was already boxing. One of my cousins boxed for a while.
How old were you when you started boxing?
I started boxing when I was 8.
8? Wow.
Yeah, so I was already I will only go and spar my cousin, cause I'm softball.
Yeah.
So my cousin always had problems with softball people. So when he had a fight with a softball person, my uncle would come and say, "Hey, can you come and spar?" Yeah, come on, let's go. We'll go, boom, boom, whatever. Then I stopped playing football. So then, I'm lying to you. So my cousin got killed. I went through the depression and I started smoking weed, doing coke, and I was only 15 years old.
Yeah.
So I was doing coke.
This was in LA?
No, it was here.
Oh. Wow.
So my cousin lived in LA.
Yeah.
And he got killed out there. I lived out here, and as I was doing drinking, at 15 I was fucking drinking, and I was smoking. I was doing coke. I was trying to get that feeling that I had inside away from me.
Yeah.
Right. And then like if you met me at that time, you would never know that I was in a depression. Because in front of you, I was like, oh yeah, this. But when I got home, it was just like, it just hit me.
Yeah.
So one of my cousins, it was a day before my 15. But yeah, my 15. I was actually 14 at the time. It was the day before my 15th birthday. Calls me and said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm about to get high as fuck right now.
You said that?
Yeah, and he was like, why? What was going on? I was like, bro, I'm like, I don't want to live no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause like my cousin was everything. Like, was a role model and everything. The reason why I don't say my brother was a role model for me, and it's not that my brother's gay, so I didn't have that connection that like me and my brother. If it was, and I'm not saying nothing's wrong with gay people, but I didn't have that connection. Like, oh, look at that girl, you feel me? Like, oh, what you think about this girl, And so I didn't have that connection with my brother because of that. So I had that connection with my cousin because I'm like, hey man, check this girl out doing this show, this bomb. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, what's up? What you want? So I didn't have that connection, so that's why I said my cousin was like my role model. So when he passed, it was like, I don't want to do anything. Yeah. So one of my other cousin, BJ, goes, bro, like, you wasting your life. Like, you can play football and you can box. Like, what are you doing? And I'm just like thinking, right, like rolling up a blunt. And I was like, man, you're right. I was like, you know what? And he was like, man, like, I don't even want to talk to you, like he was telling me. And then I was like, you know what? This is gonna be my last blunt until Jimmy gives me the blessing I can smoke again. So I rolled that blunt, smoked, and then right after that was just I started fighting. I was 5-3 in my boxing career. Then my mom took me out because the coach was firing us for money. And he didn't want to. My mom was like, give him like $5 for the fight, and I let him fight for you. My coach was like, I can't do that. I'm gonna lose my license or whatever the fuck it was. So then I was like, all right, well, he can't fight for you. My mom took me out, and then from there, I just started playing football, and I started getting game banging, because like my mom took me out boxing, football. I couldn't go to play football because my grades were bad. So I started getting like not game banging, but I was hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Fast forward until like I got my first job is when I went to sign up on United.
United Boxing Camp?
This is my first check.
Your first check?
I said, let's go. I told my girls, I'm going to go sign up.
How old were you at the time when you when you worked for First United?
When I first signed up, I was like 18.
18?
Yeah, I was 18, I think. I was 18. Yeah, because I had just graduated. So like a year after I graduated, so I was about to turn 19. So that's my first paycheck. I said, I'm going to go sign up. Everything, like I buy my gi, I buy my gloves, I buy everything, and so that's why, like like you said, like that builds you to be a fighter. All this shit, that's the same way for me. And I'm like, Downbar is a fucking, he's a tough motherfucker. Like I'm like, dude, I want to fight. I know you can't fight.
Yeah, dude is super
dude,
old school.
I said, I want to fight. You can't. Now you don't look like a fighter. I said, what the fuck does a fighter look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, so I told him, I was like, man, I have 8 fights. In total, I have 8 fights in total in boxing. I could get down. You know what I'm saying? So I know that build that you can say anger to be a fighter, right?
Yeah, aggression or something like that.
So So you after Seattle, you moved where?
So after Bremerton, and this is when I started getting into the hobby of fighting, because like you said too, I started going through depression as well, because I was a new kid. I wasn't getting around.
How old were you at the time?
I was 14.
14, okay.
13, 14, one of those. Yeah. But like I said, I was a new kid. I didn't like where I was living. It was always cold, cloudy, and damp.
Man, I love that, bro.
Yeah, I didn't like it, man. And like, I wasn't getting around. I was getting bullied. You know, people were making fun of me. I didn't have no friends. Yeah. And it's like I couldn't do what I love, which is my hobby, skateboarding, because it was fucking raining and there's nowhere to skate. I didn't
have skate parks and shit?
It'd be raining or something like that. Or I'd have to get a ride over there, but like my mom then wouldn't give me a ride, you know what I'm saying? But I ended up getting into, like, I don't know how I ended up getting, but I ended up watching like probably like some boxing videos. It was boxing first. I ended up watching like boxing videos at first, and I just started like, I met a friend there too, you know, and like I started doing bad stuff too when I was about 13 or 14, because I did end up going to a skate park eventually. I was the youngest one there, but the second oldest was probably like 17, but everyone else was like above 22. Yeah. And I was probably, I mean, I started smoking weed too and stuff like that at that age, you know, and then like something called fucking, it was like something that was chemical. Spice, and then like other shit, you know. And they wanted me to start. I never drank with them, but like I was just around a lot. Some of them were gangbangers too. Yeah. I've seen two of them jump one guy one time when we took a ride to the liquor store to get some like snacks. I seen two of my friends jump one guy for his wallet and like just fucking hop in the car, and we drove back to skate park like nothing happened. But, But I seen that, and then but I made one of the friends, and then like he had a punching bag, and then he ended up giving it to me, and he lived down the street from me, so I fucking... That's crazy. I
got gifted a punching bag too.
Yeah, so he lived down the street from me, so I had to fucking carry it up, but I ended up just putting on my skateboard and pushing that shit up there. But like, it was just like a chain, so I just used the jump rope to hang it up. Mm-hmm. You know, I tied it, and then like I didn't have no gloves, man. I was just fucking hitting that shit. It wasn't like... That was technically where the first, like, it was boxing first. Yeah. It was only boxing first. And I was just watching YouTube videos, and I was just practice in the garage or whatever, watch YouTube videos and all that. But after Bremerton is when I moved to Everett, Washington. Okay. And was even worse. I'm
going to stop you right there because this camera's only record for 30 minutes. So before it cuts you off, I'm going to stop you. We'll come back and then we keep talking.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just a quick little boom boom and then we're back. Because if I don't stop it, Alright, man. So, you were saying you moved to a different town?
Yeah, so once I moved to Everett, Washington, it was for my sophomore year of high school. So I stayed in Bremerton for my 8th grade year of middle school and then my freshman year. And then I went to Everett for only my sophomore year. But that was probably even worse because because that was an even bigger school, and then I didn't get around, and I got to see the whole different types of people. You know, they had it was a weird school, man.
Was there a bunch of Samoans out there or no?
Ideally, it was a weird school, like you said. It's like they did have Samoans. It was weird. It's like they had the Islanders with the Islanders. They had the Ukrainians with the Ukrainians. The Russians with the Russians. The Mexicans with the Mexicans. The blacks with the blacks. You know, and it was all racially diverse, but like. It wasn't like it was like a thing. It's just like the people that were from they just wanted to stay with their own race. And I'm like, you know, the Asians with the Asian, but like I said, I didn't know nobody, man. So like I wasn't affiliated with nobody, but I did meet some people. But that was the time when I actually got into MMA. Oh, okay. Because I guess I was watching boxing, and eventually I fucking clicked on an MMA video, and then it just ended up, oh shit, I want to do that instead. So I ended up fucking practicing fucking kicks on the couch, behind the couch, and all that shit. And eventually I was able to get my mom's boyfriend to sign me up at my first MMA gym out there in Everett, Washington. It was called Charlie's Combat Club. I think they're called C3 now, but they're still active to this day. I follow them on Instagram. They got one UFC fighter. Oh, shout out to them. Her name is Miranda Danger. You know, shout out to them. They have no idea who I am. I'm giving them a shout out, but shout out to them anyway. You know, Coach Charlie and all them. But so I was there for I trained there for like, ironically, only a month, you know, because my mom's boyfriend just said, you got to get good grades if you want to train here. And I trained for a month. It was the best month of my life. I learned a lot of jits and stuff like that. But I still got my ass beat, you know, but eventually I couldn't train there because I didn't have the grades for it because it was far from where we lived, and I had to get a ride. So once that, I came back to like being a self-taught. So I watched everything on YouTube. I watched as much techniques, and I would just practice my shadow box in my room for like 2 hours straight. I remember my mom walked in and it was fucking steaming in here. I was like, man, what you doing here? It was like literally steaming. The windows were foggy because I was sweating. It was in my room, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a big room and I was just like shadow boxing in there. And then, like I said, that's just how it all started. Right there. That's where all the love started. Was there. All the love started.
I think the same way from here. Like, I think I watched I watched a Chocolate Dale fight.
Yeah.
It was a Chocolate Dale and Tito Ortiz.
Oh yeah.
So I watched that. Famous ones. I looked at it and I was like, I could do that. So then I started looking at YouTube. I learned an armbar on YouTube.
Yeah. Like.
So then I was still in high school. And I told my mom, I said, I wanna fight. My mom just laughed. Haha. I said, alright, fuck you then. I said, man, I was like, alright, so then I called my pops. I was like, hey, Dad, I wanna fight. My dad is super religious, Catholic, all the way. He was like, no, we don't do that. We don't fight in this family.
Oh, yeah.
I said, nigga, you're not in my family. The fuck? Like, you don't live with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I said, man, like, so I'm like crying. I was already with my girl, and I called my girl and I was crying. Man, I don't want to do this. My mom don't want. And my girl was like, well, I was like, man, I said, why don't you tell your mom to sign me up? Like, I only need an adult. I'll pay it. He said, how you gonna pay? I was like, I had a job at the time. I was like working at this little freaking like a audio place like for cars. I was just like working there for like I was just cleaning shit like, and they'll give me $100 a week. So I'm like, a week I could do that because it comes out of a month. Yeah. So I'll give. I was telling my girl like, I'll give your mom the money, put it in a credit card. Woo woo. She's like, nah. So I told my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was like, you're crazy. I was like, fuck, man, like. And like me and my father-in-law wasn't close at the time. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure right now if I tell, hey, can you sign me up for this? He'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I was like, fuck. So that's when like I graduated and I'm like, man, I said my first paycheck. I told my girl, I was like, my first paycheck, I'm gonna go sign up. Signed up and from there like I fell in love with it. Like I was like, man, jiu-jitsu. I fell in love with jiu-jitsu, right? Like at the first time, I was like, hell yeah, I can do this. Now I started doing Muay Thai. I said Muay Thai. I was like, I fucking love Muay Thai. Like I didn't even want to go to the jiu-jitsu classes no more. But Coach Dunbar was like, no, you have to get your ground game, and then I can put you in a fight. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, man.
Grappling is the most important aspect of MMA, hands down. You know?
So then we had a smoker, and the guy that was supposed to fight didn't show up. So the guy that was the opponent was there. So Dunbar was like, what the fuck? I said, man, put me in there. I was like probably like 2 months in. I only knew armbar, but I know my hands is there. Yeah. I was like, I know I could beat
this. This is an MMA fight.
Yeah. I was like, I know if I don't let him take me down, I could beat this nigga ass. Like I could beat his ass because my hands is there. My hands, I'm pretty good with my hands. So Dunbar was like, all right, go ahead, go wrap up. So I fucking wrapped up, ran in the cage, and all right, come on, let's go. I fucking ran in there, boom, boom. I was just bombing him, I didn't know how to kick at the time. I'm kicking him like fucking if I'm kicking a soccer ball or something. Boom, boom, because I was only like. When that happened, it was my second day in Muay Thai. Yeah. So I didn't know like how to like turn my hips and do this shit. Yeah. So I'm beating his ass, pow, 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 just whooping his ass. And I was like, okay. So then rounds over, boom. I was like, oh man, like this guy weighs too much. I was like at the time probably like 118 something, right? This guy was like 130, 140. I'm beating this guy's ass. I'm like, boom. So then like second round comes, I run. And I fucking knee him what's his name? George Masvidal?
George Masvidal against Ben Askren?
Yeah, something like that. And just fucking kill him right here. Boom! And he fell, and I just got on top of him. Dunbar was like, oh shit, this guy got he got fucking heart.
He got grit.
He got the heart. So he was like, alright. He's like, man, I didn't think you had the heart. You look like a little bitch. I looked at him, I was like, man, you lucky you're old because I would have fucked you up. No, I was like, I don't let nobody call me a bitch. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna let it slide.
He did said that to you?
Yeah, he was like, you look like a little bitch. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, dude. And I was like, he's all right for sure. So I did a bunch of smokers before he gave me a fight. I did like at least 20 smokers. And I was like, he would call me, he's like, hey, this dude wants to be a fighter. Come and spar with him. I'm all right. So I go down there, like after work, go down there and spar him, beat his ass. And because it's like, what I tell people is like, yeah, you can fight probably street, But when you get in the cage, it's a whole different fucking ball game.
Yeah.
It's a whole different. This guy, I walked in one day. He's like, yeah, man, I haven't lost a fight in the streets, woo. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'll beat anybody ass. And I'm like, all right. So I walk in, I tell Don Bars, like, hey, he's like, yeah. I went back there. Didn't say nothing to the dude. Went back to the back. Start wrapping up. Start warming up, stretching. And then he looks at me. He's like, oh, you the one I'm fighting? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, dude, this is gonna be fucking easy. I said, all right. I looked at Don Bar's like, I was like, all right, for sure. Like, cause he would tell me like, oh, go like 35% on me.
Yeah.
Or go 45.
There's just some random ass street dude.
Yeah, I just walked in the gym, told Don Bar that he wanted to be a fighter.
Oh yeah.
Cause he could fight in the streets.
Yeah.
So I can fight in the streets. I can make it on the UFC, get paid. But there's a whole different fucking ball game. So I walked in there. I didn't punch him at all. I just took him down and like fucking submitted him the whole time. He threw like 4 punches. I ducked, boom, took him down. He threw a kick. I caught it, tripped him. I was, and then he was like, "Oh man," dude. I said, "Man," and he's like, "Man, dude, man." And he didn't know what to say. And I was like, "Dude, like."
He got humbled. That's what it was.
And then he goes, "Dude, like I was like, man, I didn't know like fighting had a." I was like, "Yeah, you can fight in the street, bro. But when you hop in the cage, you have to have technique.
You gotta have technique.
You have to have everything, bro. Like you can't just come in like, oh, I'm fucking 101 in the streets. Like, no. And that one I fought, I lost because he threw some sand in my face. Like, no, you can't fucking. That's not the case. So Down Bar from there was like, okay, you're gonna fight. But when was your first fight?
My first fight was actually a smoker fight, and I actually only had one smoker fight.
Oh shit!
I had one.
So what's your record right now?
I have one smoker fight, and I actually lost that smoker fight.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I have one MMA fight, and that fight I won by knockout.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
But that's
When's your next fight?
I actually don't have a fight right now planned and stuff like that. I'm actually injured right now.
Oh shit!
From my fight that happened, I actually I got taken down by my opponent in the first round, and my knee popped.
Oof.
It popped, and I knew something was up, but like I just ignored it. And I remember when I stood up to go to the second round, it was out.
Yeah.
I felt it. I remember I stopped and I walked slowly, and I felt it like this shit's fucking gone. But like I completely disregarded that shit. I was like, I can't fucking. there's nothing I can do. I gotta fight, So I was like, I gotta fight through it. And I remember I sat down on the stool, and then, my coaches gave me that talk. And then I remember when I stood up. I literally remember when I stood up. I literally felt my knee like pop back into place, and I was like, and I shook it, and I was like, all right, shit, I'm good.
Oh shit.
And then I ended up fought that second round, and then went back for the third, and then ended up knocking him out.
That's what's up, man. What weight class are you fighting?
I fight at my MMA fight. I fought at 155, but I'm a 145er for sure.
You walk around 145 or 155 or? No,
that's the weight that I fought at.
But what?
I walk around 170.
Oh, okay.
170 is like probably the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
So you're kind of like 20 pounds?
Yeah, but I don't want to weigh no more, obviously. Obviously, when I get older, my metabolism will slow down. I'll probably gain it'll be a little harder, but I try to be light as I can because, I don't like cutting weight. I mean, I used to wrestle too in high school. Like, towards the end of my high school, I wrestled, and I just cutting fucking 7 pounds. I didn't like that shit.
Man, bro, that's the only thing I hate about fighting. I hated that shit so much.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, at the time I used to work at Church's Chicken, like when I was fighting, and like everything, like when I was cutting weight, everything was fucking good. I'm like, man, like this, and I'm over here eating like a fucking salad this big, the fucking water, like a shot of water, and I'm like, fuck, and I'm starving and shit. Like, I'm like, I hate cutting weight.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. Like when people tell me what do you hate about fighting? I was like, shit, cutting weight.
Fucking cutting weight.
That's the fucking.
I remember this one time when my first wrestling match. My first was my junior year in high school. I've never cut weight before, and it was like the first time I ever did it. And when we wrestled, this was up in Italy, in Europe, because my stepdad was military, and we ended up moving over there and stuff like that. So I wrestled on the bases against other schools, against other Dodge School Department of Defense, and we would actually stay at the schools. We sleep at the schools. Like, it wasn't like, here in the States, you have a tournament against another school, you go home and rest. Nah, it's like over there, it's like you fly out. Over there, we took a plane to fly out to compete against other schools, and we'd go to the school, pick a random classroom, and we'd literally sleep in the classroom. The only rule is just like we make sure we clean everything up. If not, that's just the rule. But we always did that. But we bring our own air mattresses and all that shit. But my first meet, I didn't do that. I fucking slept on the cold ass hard floor. And remember, I was cutting weight and I was fucking like having a seizure in my sleep, and like I was fucked up, man. And it was my first time ever cutting. And I remember I weighed in the morning, and wrestling is like you weigh in 2 hours before you wrestle. So like,
that's like jiu-jitsu, bro. Like I fucking jiu-jitsu's like that. Jiu-jitsu, you weigh in and you fight right there and then.
Yeah. It's like, even though it's 2 hours and I had my coconut water and my Gatorade and I felt fucking refreshed, I was like, oh man, I'm great. As soon as I started wrestling, like, I tied up and probably 20 seconds went by. I'm starting to see stars and shit. I'm all fucked up. I was like, man, that weight cut, and then that actually lost my first. That could be because of the weight cut, but because it was only I wrestled at 152 at that time.
Yeah.
But because of it, I was given that the next meets. I was given that 2 pound allowance, and I had the experience. And then the next meet, I smashed the next meet. I think I went like probably 5-0 in that one. But like it was. Yeah, that was my first experience with cutting weight over there. Was during the wrestling times. But
it was like the first time I did my jiu-jitsu tournament. I didn't cut weight. I went 130 because I walk around 135.
Yeah.
So I went in at 135, bro. Like these guys are fucking huge. So me and my boy Edgar, we sit down and we're like, God damn, these motherfuckers is huge. Like they're probably cutting down from like maybe like 160, maybe 150. But these guys are big. Like so, with my first match, the dude just laid on me. Like that, the whole fight, like the whole match, he just laid on me. So I'm like little, so I'm like can't fucking pick the guy.
You can't even like push the bridge or anything like that.
Nothing. So I'm like, fuck. So we get back the next day. We get back to training, and then coach was talking about. I was like, well, how was your training? How was your match? I was like, dude, like I fucking lost. It sucked. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I didn't like the dude just laid on me. He's like, well, that's why you cut weight. I was like, oh, for sure. So next tournament, I did Pan Ams. And with jiu-jitsu, when you fight with the gi on, you have to weigh in with the gi. You have to be, say if I fight at 125, with the gi I have to be 125. So that means that you have to go down to like 118, 120.
Yeah.
So like,
man, after like a fucking drenched training sessions in the gi, that shit will put on like 8 pounds. It weighs like a fucking fireman's fucking suit. That shit gets heavy.
So like. I was the day before my tournament, like I couldn't like drop to fucking 3 pounds. Could not drop to 3 pounds. I fucking ran. I went in the sauna. Nothing. Like I told Dunbar, I was like, dude, like I can't. Like there's no way I'm dropping 3 pounds in like fucking 24 hours. He said, I'll get home. When you get home, just chug some water, and go to sleep. Like a gallon of water. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I had to call my cousin that fights too. And I was like, bro, I can't drop these 3 pounds. He's like, bro, just chug some water. Go to sleep. You wake up and you piss that shit all out. So the morning of the fucking Pan Ams, wake up, just fucking pissing. Weigh myself, I was at 117. I said, oh shit. But bro, I'm like,
fucking like,
I'm like, bro, like
skinny
my
cheek,
bro, look like a fucking skeleton. So I get to Pan Am's, my dad actually shows up. I'm like, ah, shit. So I weigh in. They say, all right, you're next. I'm like waving my mom to give me my bag so I can fucking get some granola bar or something. Yeah. Like, by the time my mom came to where I was at, I was already up. So, like, I was not thinking.
So you didn't have anything to eat, like, before your match or anything like that? Like,
no, because my match was scheduled at 8.
Yeah.
So I woke up at 6, and it was in Irvine. So I was like, woke up at 6, got ready, and we took off. So, like, I couldn't, like, and I woke up late that day, too. So, like, because the night before, me and my girl went to go get a camera so I could record my match. So I'm like, all right, cool, like. And then, didn't eat shit. Like, I packed everything in my bag. So I was all right. So when I weigh in, I get my bag, but they didn't let me bring my bag in. They're like, oh, just leave it there, and then when you weigh in, you can go get it. But the the fucking scale was on the other side of the fucking building, and where I fucking left my bag was on the other side. So I'm like, fuck. So then they have you on, I don't know if you ever did a tournament, they have you on like little like stools,
Yeah,
like little
yeah.
like little fucking things. So I'm waiting. My mom like, come on, like, and I'm trying to like get my girl to come see me, and like nobody's trying to invite me. My mom sees me, so she runs. By the time I'm about to open my fucking bar, they're like, "You're next," and I was like, took one bite, and I'm like, "Fuck!" So I go, like I blacked out like the whole fucking fight. Like I like my whole technique went out the window.
It was just like
I was supposed to pull guard right away. I didn't. I stood up. The dude pulled guard, and I was trying to break the guard, and I kind of jumped. I kind of got up, and I went like this, and the guy falls and goes, "Ah!" And the referee goes like, "Oh, slam!" I was like, "Slam?" Like I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "A slam?" He's like, "Yeah." Like I was like, "Man!" So I showed the video to Dunbar, and Dunbar was like, "That's not a slam." Cause you still have one knee on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like rip his trying to and he just falling. I was like, you fucking dick. But then I did I think it was called South Bay, and I fucking destroyed that weight class. I won one of the dudes. I killed him like 28-0 on the points.
Were you still going light at that weight class, like 125?
I went that weight class. I didn't cut. I said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna cut. I don't feel like cutting." I was like, "Let me just do it," because I was about to get my blue belt. So I was like, "All right, fuck it, let's do it." I didn't cut weight, and I fucking destroyed it because at that weight class nobody was big. Everybody was small.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "What the fuck? Like this is weird." So I fucking killed. I won my first match. The second match, because there was only 3 people. So it was me and the 2 dudes. So I won my first match. I fucking destroyed them with no points. The second match, I caught him in a triangle. And then I was like, alright, cool. So I did another tournament, and I fucked up my knee. Like how you use like yours.
Yeah.
And since that day, bro, is when I couldn't go back to work to do anything. And then right when I fucked up my knee, I fell at work and hit my same knee, and it was just like a fucking. I couldn't I was out for like almost a year. Then I went back, and every time I went down to do a takedown, my knee would, and I'm like, oh shit!
It's like you can't even you can't even bend your knee all the way and stuff like that. I have problems like that. I can't even fully extend my knee.
That shit hurt So right now you're training where at?
Right now I train out of Carlson, Gracie in Riverside. Yeah. It was originally known as. They had a couple names to go by, but when I first started training there, it was called Apex MMA, and then after a while it changed to the name called The House, and then there was some gym distribution or something, and then they dropped that sponsor or whatever, and then it eventually came what it is today, Carlson Gracie.
You have what's his name there? What's his name? Brandon? No.
What's his name?
He's in the UFC.
Andre.
You should train at United.
He was telling me,
But he was a boxer over there.
Yeah, he was telling me, yeah. So Andre's a cool dude, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him in here, but man, that fool never hits me back up.
Yeah, I fucking love that dude, man.
Yeah,
I actually told him about I was gonna be on this podcast, and then after it was actually one of my training sessions is when you hit me up, and then we just got done training. I was like, hey man, this guy hit me up on IG, man, he wants to be. I was like, and I showed him. He's like, oh yeah, I know that guy, man. We used to train together at United.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him in here, but Andre, what's going on,
what's
man?
Good, man? Like,
fuck it, come on, dude, stop playing.
Yeah, but
but I know he's busy. He's doing his thing.
He's got a kid now. He's got a baby. So it's just
And then you have another girl that's doing MMA too, right?
Yeah, her name's Kiana.
I seen her page too.
Yeah. So
I seen her. She's pretty badass. She's pretty
badass. Well, she got a lot of fights in there. Actually, I don't remember how many, but she has a lot of fights to her belt. A lot of finishes. She only has one loss actually.
Yeah, I'm about to hit her up too, man. Because I always tell you every time I bring somebody in here, it's always like, oh yeah, when I used to fight, when I used to do this, it always comes back to the fighting, because when I was doing all that gang shit, all the stupid shit I was doing, me and the big homies and all the little homies will have rumbles. So the big homies was the little homies around the whole apartments. So we'll we'll run, and then when we see each other, we start fucking fighting each other. They had this side of the apartments, and then we had that side of the apartments. So if they cross,
I was here. These current apartments. Right?
Yeah. So then they'll cross, and they're like, "Oh, you're in our hood," and we start fighting them. And even when when other gangs will come in here, we in the front, like, I'm the littlest guy there. And I'm like, I'm for the fight too. Like, come on. And my cousin's like, nah, you go in the back, bro. You little. And I'm like, well, nah. Even like I grew up with Samoans, so like everywhere I go with my Samoan friends, and they, Samoans are fucking tall,
Dude,
big as fuck.
Samoans are just naturally big bone. I don't know what it is about it, man. Like,
so we went to a concert, and then like they're about to fight, and I'm like, nah. And I got my boy Lupe, a big old Samoan guy. And I was like, I'm in the front. He picks me up and goes, no, you in the back, bro. I said, no, come on, man, let me fight. Like, and I grabbed him and said, don't ever pick me up like that, bro. Like, don't ever. I look like a bitch in front of everybody now. Like, don't ever fucking pick me up. And he was like, sorry, bro, I don't want you to get hurt. Like, Samoans are like, they look mean and like tough.
Yeah.
But they're like a teddy bear, man. Like, they're super. Like,
dude, that's
nice.
funny, man. I think I heard a couple people say that too, man. It's like they're so big, but yet they're like so like gentle inside. They're like a gentle giant or something.
Yeah,
like that,
but you fuck with people that they love, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a fucking wrap.
Them dudes is like.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I was gonna say something about. We were talking about Samoans because I had a friend, and I don't know if you ever heard about kava.
Gava?
Kava. It's a root that Samoans drink.
Gava, like
It's Kava. Kava. It's a root that they drink, and it tastes like fucking like dirt and water. Like literally, it's like tastes like dirt and water.
No, I don't.
But it makes you like relax. It's a muscle relaxer.
Yeah.
So we every Thursday, Friday or Saturday, we go to my friend's house and they drinking it. So one of my friends, I want to go with you, man. I was like, for sure. Like, this Thursday we'll go. And he was like, but I'm scared. I'm like, scared of what? He's like, Samoans. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, man, they're just like, they look so mean. I was like, bro, they're like teddy bears, bro. When you get there, they're gonna give you a hug and a kiss. And they're like, what the fuck? I was like, I was just messing with them. But like, it's funny because a lot of people, like, when I was walking with them, they like look at me like, what the fuck, like you. And then because I have tribals, I have like tribals on my body. And
are they like Samoan tribals?
Yeah.
Or they're, oh really?
Yeah, they're like, because I grew up with Samoans. So when I moved out here to California, because I was living in Vegas, my next door neighbor was Samoan. Shout out to my boy Mila and Kiki. And my mom used to go to work, and he's like, oh, can you take care of my kid? And so yeah, so I grew up with them. So like when I went to high school, there's more Samoans. So then from there it was like a rap, and then I graduated high school, and that's what I hang out with. So like, I was like, man, I really like the tribal. So I said, hey man, I told one of my brother, my Uso, Lorenzo, I said, it's okay if I get a tribal? And he was like, I don't know, man, ask the older guys. So I was like, alright, so I walked up to
So you had to get permission to get the tribal tattoo.
So I walked up to one of his name is General. Well, his name is Evie, but we call him General.
Yeah.
I said, hey General, it's cool if I get a tattoo? He looked at me up and down, I was like, I don't give a fuck, ask your mom. And I said, no, like a tribal. And he was like, shit, I don't care. I was like, in our eyes, you're Samoan. I said, all right, for sure. He's like, but one thing I do want to tell you is that anybody asks you what your tribal means, you better know. I was like, oh shit. So I was like, how do I fucking find out what it means? He's like, well, you look at your, like, the design will pick you, like the symbols and shit will pick you. So my arm piece, it says that I'm a warrior. And at the same time, I was fighting at the time. So I'm like, all right, for sure. And my chest piece is so
it's connected. It's like a half sleeve.
Yeah, half sleeve. Right now I'm working on my bag. I actually went today. That's why I told you if it could be later, because I went to get the tattoo. Like, I'm working on my back right now. So my chest piece means family, like it's a family piece because I have my grandma's name on it, and then the back piece is just me, just becoming a man, because I have my daughter and shit. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, for sure. And then like everywhere I go, even when I got fights and shit, like, you Samoan? I was like, yeah. Dang, you're a small Samoan. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
What did you say? You know what?
You're a small Samoan.
Oh, small Samoan?
You're small, because I'm like, I'm like, damn, because everybody else, like, fucking my boy Kiki, he's like a year younger than me, but this fool's like 6 something. So I'm like, damn, like, he looks like the Great Khali.
Yeah, fucking giants and everything, bro. Like, at least 6'6" or something like that, but like. So that's tight. Tribal tattoos, man. I actually wanted to get one, but like probably with I've always wanted to get like some type of like half sleeve or full sleeve, but connects to my chest.
Yeah.
You know, but I just never got to it. But also, I want to make sure I know what I'm getting. You know, yeah. I want to get something that obviously represents.
Because
you know, like
what's his name fights with you guys too. Well, he trains with you guys. He's Hawaiian. I think
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jarvis. I have he's Filipino and he's got tribal tattoo. Yeah, he's Filipino.
Oh, I thought he was Hawaiian.
probably has a little bit of Hawaiian. You know, who knows? But I know for a fact he's Filipino. But he's got tribal tattoos, and I was actually hit him up, and he actually recommended me to a guy. He sent me his page, so who knows? I might see that guy eventually. You know what I'm saying? But he's got some dope tattoos.
Yeah, I love his tribals, man.
Yeah,
because
and he's got one on his quad too. Yeah. So.
He used to train. He trained for a little bit at United because my boy Edgar. That's my boy Edgar's friend. But I was gonna tell you. Where you're fighting at, what is it called? Not the gym, but where you go and fight, like your fights.
Like the promotion?
Yeah.
So when I fought for Gladiator. Gladiator, yeah.
Bro, so let me tell you. Let me see if I still have that. No, I don't have that belt anymore. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. Story time. So my first MMA fight, right? I turned 21 years old. I fly because you know how Gladiator used to they used to fight out of Saboba.
Yeah.
So they had just moved to that place that's in the fucking middle of fucking nowhere.
Valley Center?
Yeah.
I fucking hate that location,
dude,
honestly, bro. Like,
so I get there, right? My 21st birthday. I was supposed to be the second fight there. Right? So I get there. My coach Damar said, make sure you get wrapped by this dude. And I'm like, all right. So me and my boy Edgar, we go. My boy Edgar, they were like, oh, your fight guy got pushed back. And I was like, my fight? He was like, yeah. I was like, man, dude, I told my boys I didn't go because my mom threw me a fucking party. So I'm like, all right. My boy Edgar goes. He beat the shit out of this dude. Comes back. But the guy that my boy Edgar fought, was my opponent. So they switched me up. So, like, Dunbar was running late. So Dunbar was like, who fought? I said, Edgar. He's like, oh, shit.
Who's cornering you if Dunbar was
his name is Chico or Pancho.
Was that like a stand-up guy or something?
He was a boxer. He was a boxing coach.
Oh, okay. Paco.
Paco, yeah.
Paco, I met that dude before, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got a sound effect for that one? Yeah.
And yeah, horrible coach. There was this other guy that was training there. His name was Junior. That dude was a fucking beast.
Junior? Who is it?
Junior. His name he's an older guy.
Was he like a Muay Thai guy?
No,
like
he's a boxer guy.
Oh.
But this dude was a fucking drunkie. He will come to train us drunk. But he know what the fuck he was doing.
He was like the drunken master or something like that,
but he know what the fuck he was doing. He's like, man, you know how you do like this? And he was like, yeah, you do like that. And I'm like, all right, let me do it to you. I said, nah, what the fuck? I got to fight tomorrow. I was like, nah, fucking you could do it. I was like, all right, fuck it. And he would like punch me and I'm like, all right, that's how you do it. But he's like, and Damar was like, I don't like it because he's drunk and he's cussing and there's little kids. And I'm like, that makes sense. But the multi-coach was Carlos. I don't know.
I remember just when I trained there once in the summer, like back then, just for visiting, I met one guy. He was Muay Thai, but he was like some tall, bald dude. I don't know his name.
Yuma or Numa. He was Brazilian?
I never got his name. I think he was.
Alright, so he was like, he was short and stocky.
Like my height, probably like 5'7" or something like that.
But he was like stocky, bro. So I'm like, oh shit. And so unless you want to fight him, like what you have to do is just punch and run, get him tired. I'm like, fuck.
And what weight were you fighting?
I was 125.
125. And this dude was 170.
175.
Like he didn't have an opponent, or like was it?
So what happened was Edgar, my boy Edgar's, that was his opponent.
Yeah.
My opponent was the guy that my boy Edgar fought, and my boy Edgar was like, man, this guy's little.
Why did they end up switching? Like, why did
I don't know what happened.
They probably had a mismatch or something.
I don't know what happened. So, so this guy, I'm like, Dunbar's like, no, you're not fighting him. Tells the promoter he's not fighting him. The dude, he's like, no, he's 125. No, 135. I swear. And Dunbar's like, pull the scale. So I bring the scale, 175. He's like, nah, he's not fighting that dude. And then like the guy goes, well, we looked you up. You have a fight. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, he said, we seen your tape. And I'm like, the fuck? I looked at Dunbar. I was like, I don't have. The only tape I had was my Muay Thai fight.
Yeah.
And I never put my shit on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because the same reason. I don't want nobody to fucking see how I fight.
Yeah, they probably been lurking. Yeah. You know, probably did some type of snooping to find out something.
Yeah, so I was like,
I know I have my opponents that did that to me. Like my fight, I can tell because when I showed up to the fights, they already knew who I was, bro. It's like. And I did the same thing. We all do it. You know?
We all do it.
Nowadays, like, you snoop, you get to know who your opponent is, know what their habits are a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But, what you're saying?
I said, Dunbar was like, find me another guy that's at least 135 and he fights. So then my dad comes up, what's going on? My girl comes up, what's going on? I said, they don't have a fighter. They don't have a fighter for me. He said, what? He's like, yeah. I was like, the guy that Edgar fought was supposed to be my fighter. But he was like, oh, man. They come back and say, oh, we don't have a fight. Give me 10 more minutes. And I'm like, looking, it's already 8. That fucking place is like an hour and a half from here.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, man. So my mom was calling me, like, hey, where you at? You almost home? Like, what? Like, did you win your fight? I said, Mom, I'm still waiting to fight. He said, what the fuck? So at the end of the day, they didn't find me I didn't fight.
You didn't fight?
I didn't fight because they couldn't find anybody that wanted to fight me. Like, there was one dude that wanted to fight me, but because he had a fight, he already had his fight and he was like, his toe was hurting him. He came up to me and was like, dude, I will fight you, but my toe is like fucked up. I said, I don't know.
They were gonna let him fight twice in one night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that even?
I don't know.
It was that I heard it's I don't know if it's still legal or not illegal, but I heard it was illegal to do it in the States or like back. I don't even know if it is.
But fucking Gladiator at the time was like.
It still is.
It still is.
It's like still
It's a piece of shit. Like
yeah,
it's like a fucking clown.
They brought in like, oh man, this guy was like making his pro debut. They literally brought in some random ass tweaker. This guy was a tweaker. He was a crackhead. I mean,
exactly.
Like he was like. You know, he was walking like he had no technique whatsoever. We saw him warming up. This dude had no technique. It was like fucking Christian Bale out of the fighter movie. This dude was like all skinny cheeks and everything.
Shit.
He like, you know, like he was tweaked out, and he ended up fucking like taking the pro fighter down. But the pro fighter won. But yeah, it's still kind of like, you know, rigged and.
So when they were still fighting at Saboba, the dude was walking around telling people, "Hey, $125 if you get in the cage with this guy."
Yeah, that's probably what they did with the same dude.
And I'm like, and I'm looking at my girl looks at me and I'm like, should I do it? But I didn't know what the fuck I was fighting. Hell, no, good thing I didn't do it because this guy was a fucking beast. I'm telling you, kicked him like 3 times in it, like just boom, and it was like they could have told the dude like, oh, this guy's a professional. There's no headgear, no shin pads. It's a professional fight. The guy walked in there. Looked like a fucking... The shorts didn't even look like it fit him. I'm like, what the fuck? So that's I told them, bro, I was like, man, that's the last time I'm fighting for Gladiator, bro. Because, I had a multi-fight. That promoter, that shit, like, they made you think you were fucking famous. Like, you had like a little interview on the side. They waited.
Those are the promotions I want to fight for, honestly. Like, you know, I only had my first under Gladiator. And honestly, I might have one more under them. Who knows? But honestly, I don't want to fight for them again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No hard feelings against Gladiator, but yeah, you know, it's time to, you know, it was just one to get it done. You know, but like,
they have more locations.
As of right now, they have another one actually because I actually have a couple teammates who are fighting on February 26th. Okay. You know, shout out to Eric and Geiger who are making Geiger's making his amateur debut. Eric, he's 1-0, going for 2-0. Shout out to them, and. Yeah, it's still the same. It's at the Valley Center, middle of nowhere, fucking on a fucking dirt hill, fucking porta potties and shit. Yeah. You know, you warm up on gravel and dirt, and like you fucking roll your ankle.
So the crazy thing is, like, I fight in November. It was raining. So where you were saying that you're warming up, it was muddy. It was nasty.
Yeah.
And then they the tent on the side of us had like the gym mats. But they were all nasty. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at my boy Edgar like, man, what the fuck? I said, man, I'm not fighting. But when I did my Muay Thai fight, that was like, it was legit. Like, we got there.
The Muay Thai fight was there in that location? No?
Nah, it was, I don't even know where the fuck. It was somewhere in LA.
Yeah.
So I took that like last minute. Like, 2 weeks. My coach was like, hey, man, like, because it was me, Edgar, and no, Edgar wasn't fighting. It was me. Some guy named Marcus that was like 6-something. And who else was fighting from our gym? I think that was it, because I don't think Edgar could make it that day. So there's like, hey, this guy, they just called me, this guy dropped his fight, you want to fight? And I said, yeah, it's like, this guy's 3-0. You want to take it? I said, man, fuck you. I mean, what the fuck? What does 3-0 mean to me? That's a number.
It don't mean nothing.
So I was like, yeah, we get there, right? We went in. A good thing I was already training. I was cutting weight for a jiu-jitsu tournament, so I didn't have to like cut like a lot of weight. Like I probably cut like 2 pounds like that same day. So I get there and then they weighed us and then like they asked us little questions. We did the face off and then come back in 2 hours or 3 hours and then go eat. So we went out to eat, came back, we started warming up. Dude, this dude was like staring me down. The whole time he was like fucking like saddle boxing. He was like.
He's trying to get in your head.
I'm like looking at him like, okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't know that I had like little skills, you know what I'm saying? So I started warming up and I'm fucking hitting the mats with my coach. And I'm screaming, ha ha. He's looking at me like, oh shit. Like, oh, this motherfucker knows what he's doing. So I get there, like my stand up, I'm telling you, my stand up is there, right? I had to like work my leg of fucking
dexterity.
Yeah, so I was like, man, like, I get in there, I'm taking off, boom, drop him, wow, cool. Second fucking round, boom, boom, we're going at it. He trips me, I trip him, we're going at it. It was a great fight. Last round, bro, I'm getting tired. So I do like a push kick, and my toe goes, like fucking.
You jam your toe against his esophagus?
Yeah, and when I stepped down, he seen it, because I, like it shit, like
you
it hurt.
Stumbled, yeah, like,
it hurt like in my asshole when I stepped down. I was like, oh fuck. So like I looked like if I show you the video, you see when I kind of stepped down and I'm like, so he see me, so he comes rushing, boom boom, and it's like the last couple seconds of like the 30 seconds left, and he throws a fucking head kick, boom, gets me. I get dazed. I'm trying to grab him. I'm like, come on, man. My girl's like, get out. Everybody's like, hey, put your hands up. I get out. And I'm like, fucking, like, I hear the ding, ding, and I was like, oh, boom, boom. Just start going, just going off. Fucking, the fight is over. The guy goes, his coach goes, dude, like, you're a fucking beast. Like, I didn't think that you were going to be like this. And I was like, thank you. Bro, I kicked him in the fucking, in his elbow. My foot was, I had a ball, like, this is my foot. I had a ball this big.
Yeah, it swelled up.
I couldn't put a shoe on. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do it. My brother sent me home the next day from work. Because my brother was my manager.
Yeah.
He goes, bro, go home. I didn't have a shoe on because I couldn't put the shoe on. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm working. Go home. I said, why? I said, just go home. I'm like, that's all right. And my girl had dropped me off that day. So I was like, I don't have a ride. He said, all right, fuck, let me take my lunch then. He takes his lunch, he brings me back here. And my mom's like, why are you home? I was like, Maureen sent me home. He's like, why? Look at my foot. Fucking big ass ball. He's like, you alright? To this day, my toes are like fucked up.
They're
like,
not the same no more?
Like
from that fight?
Nah. So for jiu-jitsu. I fucked them up in jiu-jitsu. Like, my boy Nick, shout out to my boy Nick. He flipped me, and I landed on both of my toes, like, doof. And since that day, like, my toes is... So I have minor fractures on my toes. So, like, anything, like, if I really tap it, fuck.
That's how it feels with, like, one of my fingers, bro. Like, fucking jiu-jitsu will fuck up your fingers. It'll fuck up everything. But, like, you know, fingers and toes, that's why you see them, like, they take with their fingers, bro.
What belt are you?
I'm a white belt.
White belt still?
Yeah.
So how many stripes?
Well, in the gi, I'm a white belt, but I've been training for, like, a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
how many stripes you have?
I don't know if
you...
I don't really train the gi, so...
okay. So you just... Okay,
yeah,
no
I
gi.
mainly do, like, no gi.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm gonna start training the gi more consistently.
You don't like no gi? I mean, do you like gi or no?
I don't have a problem with it. I believe training in the gi is very essential. It's very like it can help a lot. It's just me personally, I just haven't been doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I trained for my fight, I was only doing no gi.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, a lot of my teammates, they were training in the gi, but I just personally wasn't doing it because, like, we train real at the place where we train so fucking hard, and like we go hard, we spar hard, and it's just like. And just for the fight camp purposes and training for the fight, we wanted to be more realistic to the situation because, you know, we're not wearing a gi in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't wear a shirt either.
Yeah. And during fight camp, like, we put the gloves on. You know what I'm saying? We grapple the gloves on and we add strikes in there. It's a whole different ballgame. Like when you're throwing strikes too, when you're grappling. Or, you know, doing jits. You know, like. You know, you can be a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and then, you know, fight a fucking blue belt. But, you know, that blue belt takes you down, anytime you, like, that goes out the window, you know, like. You know, I have one of my opponents, you know, Sauce, you know, shout out to him. Like, his last fight, he fought a brown belt. He's a blue belt, but, like, you know, when he took him down, like, you know, he couldn't submit him. The guy got him in a couple, he got out, but he still punched him, you know, like, you know, belts don't mean.
Yeah, Dunbar, this is, like, Dunbar's favorite thing we should say is, like, when you throw punches, like, you could be a black belt, but every time you land a punch, he's a brown belt. We play you to another punch, he goes down.
You know what's funny? My coach said the exact same thing. Yeah. Coach Tony, he said the same.
Shout out to Coach Tony, man.
Coach
he knows what he's talking about. What's like one? Like, I mean, like, I know you've been training for a while, but like as a training, like, you ever had like somebody come in trying to act like they're tough, like their first day, and like you just break them down?
Yeah. Man, like I'm kind of a.
Are you a humble guy? Like you like, oh, I'm gonna just, or you like, okay, nigga, like if you bug it, like if you really think you're about it, I'm gonna show you what's about.
It's funny that I'm kind of both. You know what I'm saying? Like it really depends. Like all the time, I'm always gonna be humble first.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna be humble first. Yeah. But sometimes, even like when we spar, like and I go with like my coach calls it a rec guy, which is basically like someone who's green or something.
Yeah.
Even if I spar with a red guy, green guy, like say he fucking catches a punch on me, it's kind of hard. I get like kind of like competitive, bro. I want to hit that motherfucker harder, bro, and I will, like, But like I said, what you said, if I got somebody coming in, like he comes to the gym, I don't think I really had that like at our gym so far yet. Maybe but like. There has been some times where like there is one guy he did start off like that,
like fuck you guys up.
I can tell he's probably one of those dudes that he's like, oh, I'm fucking undefeated in the streets, because I'm big and shit. And I just like I wanted to spar that guy, and I remember drilling and the guy, he's like, dude's a big dude, and he fucking probably accidentally hit because he's just like over 200 pounds. Like, oh, did I hit you too hard? And I was like, nah, man. He's like, no, you're good. And he's like, nah, I never sparred that guy yet, bro. Like, occasionally, but. I'm the type of dude, man, it's just like, I go off of like, what you go off of, if you hit me hard, I'm gonna hit you hard too. If you hit me harder, I'm gonna hit you even fucking harder, like, I just say, I get competitive, and sometimes I do get mad, like, fucking, cause no one wants to get their ass beat, fuck, you know what I'm saying, and if they're like, kind of like, it's just like that, like.
Sorry, but I had a guy, right, he was, we had a jiu-jitsu class, so we have jiu-jitsu, like, and Coach Dunbar at United. The morning class is mostly all like older cats already.
Fighters trainers?
No, they're just older. Like they're just like in the age, but they are like blue belt. They're already like purple belts, brown belts. Some are black. So we have a guy that's special. He's not mentally there.
Like it's special needs.
Yeah. So we have a guy there, right? So. Coach Dunbar told him, oh, you have to go in the morning class because he was harassing like the students and shit like that.
The special?
Yeah, he's not there, so he was harassing the kids. So the Coach Dunbar was like, if you want to keep going, you have to go in the morning class. So
he told you that?
No, to the special guy.
Yeah, okay.
So I show up to one of the classes in the morning because I didn't go to work. So I was like, fuck it, let's go. So I get there. Shout out to my boy Jimmy. He's like a father figure to me. He gets there and he's like, hey man, what's up? And we call him Frank, that special guy, but his name is Richard. Anybody that's new in that gym, we call him Frank. What's up, Frank?
Is there a specific reason for that? Or
nah, just Dunbar just says, hey Frank.
That's a protocol?
Frank. Yeah. So I walk in and I was like, what's up, Frank? Oh, you doing this class? I was like, yeah. So this guy comes in, right? Fucking bodybuilder. Just fucking probably like 200 pounds, 300 pounds. I'm putting my gi on. I usually don't put my belt on until I get inside the class. And when I'm sitting down, I'm a blue belt. So I'm just sitting there, and then I'm talking to Frank, and I'm putting tape on my toes, right? So, and he's like, "Hey, bro, you're supposed to be back here, like new guys over here." And I look at him, and I'm like, "I'm not new, bro. I'm not Kevin, right there already fucking. I'm about to like this dude's a fucking.
That's the
fucking like.
That's
dude.
the green flag to go.
Yeah. So I'm like putting tape on, and then I have my mouthpiece right here, so I take it out and I put it like in this little ledge. So like when we're like just. Warming up and like doing like drills, I don't put it on.
Yeah, no.
Only so Dunbar comes in. He's like, all right, let's spar. Like it's gonna be a sparring day today, sparring all day. Fuck it. So I put my mouthpiece on. Then he sees that I'm putting my belt on. He's like, oh, you're a blue belt. I was like, yeah. So we get there, right? So Jimmy, he at the time was a brown belt, and he's running the class. So he's telling us, all right, so. Tells the guy, because the guy is new, he's like, all right, guy, like, we don't go 100%. Everybody else here is already old. Take it slow. He's like, okay, cool. So
this class was just full of like older
and already have like they're already up in bail class on their way.
Gotcha.
So this is more when you go to the morning. It's more to learn technique and like just to practice your technique on them because I will let you do whatever you want on them, and then like when you do something wrong, they'll catch you on it. So like say like you're going for an armbar and you fuck up, they'll catch you on whatever the fuck they catch you on. It's not really like it's not like sometimes they teach class, but it's mostly like just sparring in the morning. But it's mostly just to like get your technique up because they're all upper belts. So I get there, right? We're fucking going. I'm going with the guy Jimmy. And we're going. I'm telling him I'm practicing my spider guard. Like I'm trying to get my spider guard going. So alright, cool. So I'm practicing my shit. And he's like, okay, teaching me shit. Out of nowhere, we see fucking Frank go. Like I'm telling you, he's in the air doing cartwheels. And I'm like, what the fuck? He hits the wall, but the thing is a mat.
Yeah.
Boom, and he falls. And we're like, what the hell? And the guy was like, like
the bodybuilder.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? I said, and then we looked at him. I was like, hey, dude, like, tone it down. And he was like, sure, yeah, whatever. So
the bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Said that? He's like,
I was like, I looked at him. I was like, what the fuck? So Jamie now that he's the guy that has the power in the class because he's the upper belt.
Higher belt.
He goes, all right, bro, let's switch. So then I go with Frank, and then Jimmy and that guy goes. And out of nowhere, I hear Jimmy go, all right, dude, my knee. And he's like, oh, man, if you want to be in here, like, you know, like, then get out. And we're like, dude, like, we told you from the beginning, this class is just, like, 35%. Like, we're not doing fucking, like, we're not going 100%. So then Jimmy was like, hey, bro, like, go ahead. And he's, like, walking around. If you know jiu-jitsu, you could be the biggest dude and the strongest dude in the world, but if you don't have technique, it don't mean shit. So I'm going in there. I said, what's up, dude? And we shake hands. And all right, ready? Yeah. So I let him do whatever he needs to do. He's on top of me doing all this shit, flipping me. I'm just like, you know, fucking like a fucking rag doll. Just so he fucks up. Boom! I pull guard, and I'm holding him with my guard, bro. And I'm telling this guy is like maybe 350 pounds, just pushing me, and I'm just looking around, and I'm like talking to Frank. So Frank, and he's getting mad because he can't break my guard. And I was like, and I'm telling him, dude, step back, put your knee right in my crack. He's like fucking not having it. He's fucking trying to do it. And I'm like, keep pulling him, boom, kill. So I stick my hand on the lapel and I bring him down, and I'm about to start choking him, and then he fucking like picks me up. Like he fucking like, and goes like this. I was like, oh, and when he was coming down, I said, I wish you will, bro. And he like hits the mat, and he starts fucking screaming, what the fuck?
He hits the mat, like he goes backwards.
No, so he drops me down, back. He puts me back down. And he goes, but he hits me like this, but I'm on the floor. So he like hits the mat.
His hand hits the mat. Yeah.
So then Dunbar comes in, like, what the fuck is going on here? And he's like, oh man, fuck man, like this guy's not letting me train. And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, dude, I'm letting you do whatever you need to do. Like I just pull guard. And he's like, man, fuck that. He gets up, gets his shit and leaves. And Dunbar was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like,
got a bit of road rage there.
I was like, man, we telling him, like, he's like, oh, what the fuck? So then, like, he comes to the night class, and Dunbar kicks him out. So I knew you can't train here because you can't. You can't
control yourself.
You have to leave that men fucking testosterone outside the door. And he's, man, so I seen him, I was cutting weight for one of my classes, and I seen him at LA Fitness lifting weights, right? So and then my boy's next to him, so I go over there, and I was like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Fuck you, man. He tells me, I said, oh, man, why you mad, man? I was like, why you mad? And his homie's like, man, what's going on? Like, thought like he was about to get down or something. I was like, man, I was like, oh, you didn't tell your boys you couldn't break my guard? What, man, fuck you, man. Oh, we could go outside right now. I said, man, we could go outside, like, you know. My Samoan friend was upstairs. I didn't even know he was up there. He comes down, I was like, what's up? What's the problem? I was like, oh, no, this guy's just mad because he couldn't break my guard. And then my boy goes, I was like, you couldn't break his guard? Come on, man, that's a little guy. But it's like I tell people, like, you could be the biggest fucking guy in the world, but if you don't have technique, you're not going nowhere. You're staying there. So I always tell people, like, because people are like, oh, man, I'm bigger than you. That's some mean shit. But when you, because my coaches used to always tell me, like, well, tell the class, and I always feel bad because he was like, man, Abraham, like, he runs through punches. Like, he runs, like, if he sees a punch, he goes and puts his head in it. And I tell him, I was like, because I want to know how to get hit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go to a fight and, like, expect, like, oh, shit, what was this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
get used to taking punches. Yeah, I remember when I couldn't take punches, man. Like, my coach actually thought I had, like, a concussion problem at first. Like, when he first seen me spar, and like I said, like, 'cause I was, like, self-taught. I learned everything from YouTube. Mm-hmm. So, like, and I actually had pretty good technique, but I didn't spar. And then, like, when he first seen me spar, he thought I had a concussion problem. I was like... But then he's like, and I told him about what my experience was like. Yeah, man, I never spar. I just fucking watch YouTube videos. He's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I used to think you had like a fucking concussion problem, bro. Like you blocking punches with your face, but he's like, really, it was just lack of sparring. And now fast forward today, you know, it's different.
And I tell I had one of my friend's kids. They're doing my Muay Thai set, and then my friend was like, hey, can you talk to my kid because he's like scared. I said, if he's scared, then it's not for him. Like, I was like, I'm not going to tell you that I wasn't scared. You know, like, for my first fight, I felt like I was going to take a shit on myself. Like, I literally turned around and told my coach, like, I need to go shit. He was like, nah, you're nervous. Get in there. And when I heard the bell, boom, it went away. But after the first fight, my scare was to disappoint my coach, disappoint my family, and disappoint myself, as in, like, if I lose or win. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to lose, because now I'm like, man, that was more my scare. I wasn't scared to get hit. I wasn't scared to break a leg. I wasn't scared to fucking have a cut. I wasn't scared of none of that. Like, so I told the little kid, I was like, if you're scared, and sorry to tell you, but it's, you have to get, you have to build that up.
Yeah, I said, kind of, you know, parents kind of force that upon their kids too. You know, like, I know some kids don't want to do it, you know, but like their parents kind of force them in there regardless, you know, because, you know, they're kids. Who knows? Like, they say they don't want to do it, or they're scared now, but they're the parents, you know, and they force their kids into it, and eventually, who knows, they grow on it. You know, like, I've coached a couple kids classes before. You know, I got this one kid. He's like probably like 4 or 5 years old. Dude's got fucking heat. And for like a 4 or 5 year old, man, dude's got a strong one too. Yeah. And even I held for like a 13-year-old. This dude probably weighed like barely 100 pounds, but this dude hit harder than some of the adults. Like, his snap was like, man, these kids, man, I'm telling you, these next generation is like, it's gonna be crazy, bro.
Man, have you ever had like a nut check?
You mean like kicking up a fucking?
Bro, I had one. This dude literally kicked me like if it was a field goal. Like, he literally went boom. I felt like, cause I had my cup like got my gooch and like came and scooped my. No, it was. I fucking fell to the ground. Gosh. Dude, I was pale. My coach was like, "You good, bro? You good?" I said, "Man, like I can't move." And he's like, "You're white." Man, bro, the next day I couldn't even walk.
That shit's fucking painful, man. I remember I had one teammate kick me, and then as soon as he kicked me in the dick, honestly. Like, as soon as he kicked me, I had to go straight to the restroom, and I had to take a piss, bro. I thought I was going to take... It was weird, bro. It's like I instantly had to take a piss. And I just had a teammate, he actually ended up going to the hospital because he fucking got kicked in the nuts, too. Fucking JR, if you see this, man, like... He was going with like a rec guy, and dude just fucking, what he said, fucking field goal to kick, like he was trying to make that fucking World Cup, you know, shot, but like... Yeah. Apparently, the dude went to the hospital for it. You know I went. He's doing better, but like,
good thing, that's good.
He's telling me, he's like, whenever he sees that dude, he just doesn't want to go with that guy, man.
So that's funny because that guy that kicked me, right? I fucking went to the ground. I was like, fuck. Like, I was like, oh, fuck. Like I was fucking hurting. So my coach was like, go outside, go get some fresh air. I couldn't even fucking walk. I was like, I can't walk.
He's like, I can't walk, bro.
So I just got up and I laid down on the wall.
I start rolling, bro. I just
like, fuck, and I was just holding and rocking. I was like, because I didn't even like, I went into shock or something, bro, because I didn't even know what the fuck, because they were saying, you were saying some shit, like, you were like, what the fuck, like, you were going crazy. So I finally, when the pain kind of like went, I could take it, I got up, I went to the bathroom, I threw some water in my face, I went outside, and I was like, fuck, and I'm like jumping, trying to jump, you know, make it feel better.
I don't know why people do that, man. Like, I've been kicked before, and I had people tell me, you gotta like jump, it's gonna bring your balls down. I was like, bro, that shit just makes it hurt more, bro. I was like, I don't know why, man. But
so the guy was like, oh man, like, so the guy never showed back up, like, cause it was like his second day there, canceled his membership, everything. So one day I was in the bank and I seen him and I was like, hey bro, what's good? What happened? Why you not showing up? And he's looking at me like all scared. I said, you good? And he's like, bro, like, I thought you were gonna kick my ass the next day. I said, oh no, man, accidents happen, man. You're new. I mean, if you did it on purpose, then that's a different thing. But you know, it was an accident. You didn't know how to kick. He's like, I'm sorry, man. Like, you good? I said, I think so, man. Like, I'll tell you when I'm trying to have kids. But no, he fucking like it. And I told him, I goes, I'm never winning a cup again. And he's like, well, the cup saved your ass. And I was like, well, my fucking gooch hurts. But it was bad. It was fucking bad.
Yeah, I never want to train stand-up striking and sparring without the cut, man. Like, that shit was too vulnerable for it, you know. Like, some of these guys just fucking slip their kicks, bro. Especially, you know, I'm not trying to fucking... I want to have kids one day, you know what I'm saying? Like...
So what's the next move for you? Like, what's the plan for you after your
right now, I'm just rehabbing my knees. I actually did some type of rehabbing today, you know, just working around my injury. I can still train. I can't run, I can't kick, I can't grapple, so I can just box basically. But really, honestly, what I've been doing is just like, I've been staying in shape as much as I can, you know, I'm lifting, you know, I'm doing bag work. I'm doing tons of bag work, tons of shadow boxing, because that's basically what I can do now. And I'm just working right now, but like, eventually, I'm planning to fight after February, you know, so that's just the plan right now, you know, because I can't, there's not none yet. Honestly, like I'm not gonna complain. If it's gladiator, I
Yeah.
will. You know, like I'll fight whenever I can. You know, like honestly, I don't give a fuck. You know, I just want to fight. You know, and like when I see my teammates, like and I see that they all have fights, they're all getting sponsors. Their banners are getting made. Their websites are getting. Kiana, that girl, she just had a website popped up, and like seeing all of them just moving forward, growing. You know, Geiger making his amateur day. Everyone just making growth.
Yeah.
Like it just. It fires me up. It gets me motivated, and it keeps me in check too. You know, to my Sauce and Scotty that they're fighting in LA and in March. It's like just seeing all the progression, like knowing them and knowing that they're moving and growing forward. That shit just it motivates me and it keeps me in check. You know, and I want to be a part of that too. You know what I'm saying? So it just the only thing that I could do right now is just like heal to it, like take my time to get better. You know, I'm not gonna rush it. You know, because eventually there's always like my coach says, if you don't fight this card, there's always the next one.
Yep.
Which is a fact, you know what I'm saying? So
I was thinking about like fighting one more time, like just one more time and then call it a day, like retired.
Yeah. If you were to fight, where would you be training at? I say you should come train with us. Like I feel like like a gym that you like you train with us and you probably like it.
I was that would be my. I love.
Did you get off with Dunbar's on good terms? Like
me and Dunbar still talk. Like he we're still good, cool friends. I actually owe him $50, so I have to go pay him $50. But I will go train with you guys, like definitely.
Yeah.
Because Dunbar doesn't have a Muay trainer right now, and he's really more focused on boxing.
Yeah.
But I have to get back in shape. Like I have to really because I probably like go 2 seconds and I'm like I'm done right now.
Yeah.
When I could have done like back then I could have done like 6-7 rounds.
When was the last time that you actually like trained like
I'm gonna say it has to be
like say you run a regime and stuff like that.
Probably like 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah, 4 years ago. Maybe 5. 4 years ago. Because I signed back up and I got a new gi and that's where I was like, man, I only got this much money. He's like, I'll pay me later. I was like, alright, for sure. I signed up over there. I have his logo tattooed on me.
Oh, you do?
And
the UBJJ or something?
Yeah. The only reason why, man, because he that's where I started, you know what I'm saying? It's never going to change.
Yeah, it's just the loyalty and stuff. I understand.
But I'll definitely go train. Like even with the friend that I was telling you with his kid, she was telling me, oh, why don't you go try it over here? But they're in Paris. I was like, I think it's like Paris Muay Thai or Muay Thai Paris, something like that.
I've never heard
Yeah,
of
so they're in Paris. But also, who else? Somebody else trains over there. I don't know who else, but somebody that I know trains over there. I want to say my boy Danny, but he goes once in a while.
Was it Dan Steezy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dan Steezy trains at Icon on Sunnymead, but I have seen him train one time with us. Like we trained together. Yeah. Me and him actually sparred a bit. He's pretty good. So Dan Steezy.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Yeah. How did you meet my boy Mikey? By the way, let me stop real fast because one camera died already, but we got 2 cameras. That's a good thing. If you need to take a... Before we start doing all that, let me get... Alright, we're back. Let me see if this marker works. I need you to... shit. I'm about to get you another marker after this. But I have people sign my table.
Sure.
But I'll get you another marker. I don't know what I was saying.
Mike Vito.
Oh, how did you know Mikey?
So Vito, man, that dude gives me the best boxing work out of all my coaches. No offense to my other coaches, but man,
damn,
that dude
shots fired. That
dude gives me solid work, man. But how I met Vito, I call him Vito. Some people call him Michael. I mean, just when I met him, he told me his name was Vito.
Yeah, that's what we call him.
I stay calling him Vito.
Yeah.
But how I met him was at LA Fitness up on Merino Beach. I was in the bag room. I was just hitting the bags. But how I train on my own, when I train on my own and I hit bags on my own, I train differently with each round. I don't just like flow and fucking hit the bag at, like a certain round I'm working on a certain technique, I'm either working just my jab, I'm trying to set up my body, just my jab cross or just hooks, or speed, But I think this time I was just working my jab. Like I only had one glove on, I was just working my jab, you know, and then like I think he came up to me one time and he's like, hey bro, hey, you want to get some mitts in or something like that? I got some mitts in the car. That's just how it starts. Like, I got some mitts in the car, bro, if you want to get some work in, you know. And then I was like, yeah, bro, I'm down. But you know, I thought it was just another one of those things where we rub us. I was like, oh shit, yeah, for sure, bro. And then like, you know, I fucking don't see him again, or I don't talk to him. But then I see him again. I was like, hey, bro, you know, we can get mitts in. And I don't remember the first time we did mitts, but we ended up doing mitt work in that same room.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the best work ever, best fucking hard sessions ever, man. This dude still works me, bro. But he told me, he's like, yeah, man, like when I seen you, he was like, you know, I saw that you had your Muay Thai or MMA shorts on and like you were throwing kicks or whatever. And I was like, yeah, this guy's an MMA guy. But then when I saw you hit the bag and you were just throwing your jab, I was like, yeah, this guy knows some boxing and stuff like that. Because my style of fighting is like, you know, I fight MMA obviously, but I consider myself, I have a good base of boxing, you know, like, you know, that's kind of where like, I have a lot of sharpness in my boxing skills in my hands, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, when I seen you, I was like, when you throw your jab, I was like, I can tell this guy, like, you know. So that's just how it all started, and then, like, you know, I got his number, and then we just stayed in contact all the time, you know. We just, you know, I hit him up. Back then I was hitting up everyone, hey, bro, mitts tonight, you know, this and that, you know. Like, during the pandemic, you know, he had a spot, and I went to his spot, and, you know, we did mitts over there. Yeah. You know, it's just been like that.
That's
you
my
know?
guy right there.
Yeah. So I mean,
he actually lives right here.
Oh, he does right here.
Yeah, in this apartment. Yeah, me and Mikey.
Oh,
me and Mikey grew up together. Shit. Well, his older brother is my best friend, like one of my best friends.
Oh yeah.
I've seen Mikey grow up since a little chunky, and he was fat.
Yeah.
So,
he was fat when we was holding mitts, but I remember I posted an old video on one of my spam pages, and he's like, man, I was fat as hell back then. Yeah. But it was only like 2018, but like. Yeah, but I could see that he's been training a lot consistently, and like, you know, that's good for him.
He always tells me, he's like, bro, when we gonna start working out? I was like, man, you wake up at 5 a.m, nigga. That's the time I'm feeding my baby.
Yeah, bro. It's like
I'm trying to go back to sleep after that.
Yeah, man. Like, I remember talking to him, and he's just like, man, like, it's like, I was like, hey, when are you gonna fight? And he's like, and I remember him just telling me, he's like, man, I just have more of a passion for coaching and training, because apparently he coaches for art, like, I don't know, something like that. He said he talks about that, like, just like he has more of a passion for coaching. And
he's coaching Taylor Holder.
Taylor Holder, yeah, I've seen that a couple of times, him training and stuff like that. So
I mean, I had him in a podcast couple episodes ago, and he said that he wants to fight this year. So I'm like, hell yeah! I was like, let me know, man.
Yeah, hopefully, man. I'm like, that dude, like, I want to see that dude fight.
Yeah, I told him I want to see you fight, bro. Like, I mean, to be honest, I feel like you have to kind of put yourself in the ring before you start coaching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's kind of how I think the same way, man. Like, you know, it's just like, you can't call yourself a coach, man, and train fighters if you never fought before, you know. Even though, like, you may have all the experience, it's not right call. It's not a right call, you know. Like, you don't know what it's like to actually be in there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know.
It's crazy because a lot of people, like, one of my homies that fights, he hit me up. He said, "Hey, bro," and he still fights, and he was like, "Hey, bro, like, I'm about to fight this week. Can I just have like a little a session with you?" And I'm like, "Bro, like, you mean like 2 seconds? Cause nigga, I'm gonna be tired." He said, "No, I just need your like, cause I got the guy that my way to fight it. I'm aggressive. Like I don't step back. I'm going forward. Yeah. And like I'm just like you hitting me, I'm hitting you right back. Like, you know, cause that's what Coach Carlos taught me and taught us. Like, you throw a punch, I'm throwing another one. You throw a kick, I'm throwing two. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. Like, you know. So he's like, it's just I said I haven't sparred nobody like you. Like, I haven't sparred somebody that actually like gives me the works. And then like my boy Edgar, he told me, he's like, bro, like when we spar, bro, like you look so comfortable. Like, you just sitting there like smiling, and I'm like, I hesitate to throw my punches. I said, why are you hesitating, bro? Because most of the time, every time you throw a punch, you catch me with it. He's like, but when I throw a punch, you already came back with like 6. And I was like, well, you have to not hesitate. Like, I see you throw, I'm fucking going, pop, 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 pop. Hopefully I catch you first. And he was like, damn, like, I want to be, you look so comfortable. Like, even on the ring, you look like so comfortable.
You never back up. You're just right there, regardless of your hit.
Because, like, how I look at it, and this is something my uncle told me. He told me in Spanish. He was like, the guy in front of you, he wants to kill you. You have to kill him first before he kills you. So it was like, that stuck to my head. Yeah. So, like, I would look at my opponent and say, all right, oh, you want to? All right, let's do it.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. That's the killer instincts. Like, when I had my fight, it's like that killer instinct kicked in. You know, it's like I never had that type of feeling before. Even though I knew about having that killer instinct, it never showed out until I had that fight. Because you can't have a killer instinct in training and practice because those are your teammates. You know, like it's just like it doesn't click. But I remember when I had that fight, man, and I stepped in, I locked eyes, and remember this guy's trying to eye me down, like I was ready to fucking kill that motherfucker. And as soon as we stepped in, and I threw I fucking yelled on my first, I was like like I fucking yelled on my fucking my first 4 punches that I'd thrown. It's just like so aggressive, you know, and like I didn't back up one time in that fight, you know, just to make sure I was like on point, you know.
And it's because you said like you don't want to kill you don't want to do that with your partners.
Yeah.
And one day I was really pissed off, and my girl was like, I want you to go train. I didn't go train. I said, because I don't want to go angry to my practice, because then I don't want to hurt somebody. Those are my teammates. I don't want to hurt them. So I would stay home if I'm like mad or going through some shit. Like if I go, I would just go hit the bags, and I'll text Coach Dunbar, I'm going through some shit right now. I'll just go hit the bags. It's all right, cool. And then when I come down and I'll go in the class, or I'll go in class, but I'll be super just practicing. I'll let them do everything. They doing, get an arm bar, go ahead, get it, whatever but I would just trying to just prepare myself, not to prepare, but everything I was going, just let it out. You know what I'm saying? But that shit is crazy, man. Fighters have almost the same life.
Yeah.
You know how you went through some depression.
Yeah, it's weird how
it builds that from fighting, And I always tell people, my first love was boxing. My boxing, fighting. I'm going to say fighting. The art of fighting saved my life, and my wife saved my life. Because if it wasn't for that, I would have been probably locked up or dead right now. So, I always tell people, boxing and MMA saved my life. Going to that, what do you think about, the Jake Paul and Logan Paul?
What I think about Jake Paul and Logan Paul? Well, now Jake Paul, I guess you could say the dude's validated now. He's validated now. I mean, he fucking knocked out Tyron Woodley. You know what I'm saying? So. But
you don't think it was set up? You don't think it was?
I seen a video on Instagram, someone made it edits, before he threw his right hand, he tapped his shoulder, or he rolled his wrist. Yeah. He rolled his wrist to signify that he was gonna throw the punch. But really, I fucking highly doubt it, because fighters have habits. You know what I'm saying? When they throw something, they will wind up. He probably just fucking loaded up on it. What for sure was that knockout was fucking real.
It was real.
It was real, you know what I'm saying?
Because I seen another video and it's if I tell you I'm going to give you $30 million, will you get fucking knocked out? And the guy's like, fuck yeah, I'll get knocked out. Yeah, but to me, it's as a fighter, sometimes we confuse you because we look down and you go, oh, he's going to hit me down. Or we come up. But you could tell that hit was coming up because it was overhand.
Yeah.
You could tell that was coming up. So for him to do this, to me it was as a fighter, you're gonna do this. You're gonna block your ribs and your head too. You feel me? So you're not gonna do this and then get fucking. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. I saw an interview with Tyron Woodley said he's like I don't know why the fuck I put my hand down there. He's like I should have kept it up. I don't know if that's probably one of the reasons, but dude, that's his point. I mean, if they paid him $30 million for it,
Well, the guy just said it. Whatever the fuck. If it did,
how much should he get paid? Because boxers get paid way more. Especially that fight in particular. Yeah. That fight was for show.
But if you he hasn't really fought a boxer.
That's true.
He fought MMA guys.
Yeah.
And you could tell all the boxers don't want to give him credit. You know what I'm saying? He called Canelo. Canelo don't want to. Canelo has I'm pretty sure Canelo's nah. Even Mayweather when he fought fucking his brother, it was to me it was what the fuck was this, a sparring session? Because you have a contract that you can't knock him out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Come on, if it's gonna be a fight, I want to see somebody knock the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are talking all this shit, why not? What is it? Just sparring session?
That's the debate right there, man. Is people saying that he hasn't fight a real boxer. People saying he should fight Tyson Fury's brother. That'd be a good fight, but I do see. I mean, I don't really know what to say because that dude trains, man.
He trains.
I can see that he's training. I mean, he puts in work. You know, I don't have no disrespect or I mean I don't really care about. Honestly, I don't really give a shit about none of that. You know.
Yeah. Like, cause Mike, you know how Mikey trains Taylor Older.
Yeah, yeah. He was with like the Bryce Hall.
Yeah. So I didn't know who the fuck these people were, right? So Mikey's like, man, I was training them, and I was like, what do you think about them? I was like, bro, to be honest, like, I did this for a living. Like, I wanted to do this for a career.
Yeah. And
I feel like they're just making it like a show.
Yeah.
But then I seen his. He actually sorry guys, my sprayer is going off. Everybody knows. Fucking sprayer.
Oh, that's the lizards?
Oh yeah, for my chameleon. It sprays the water every 4 hours. Yeah. And I seen him training. I was like, okay, like this dude is like he really like puts the work in. You know what I'm saying? So then I actually met the dude with Mikey, and he was like, oh, what you fight too? And I said, yeah, I used to fight, but not no more. And he was like, what happened? I told him like my knee injury. But I told him I want to fight one more time, and just one more time, just call it a day after this. And then he's like, well, and then my girl's like, what if you fucking knock out and somebody, and he'd be like, oh shit, come on, keep going. I was like, nah, I don't think so. I was like, now I got bigger things to worry about. I got my daughter. Back then it was just like, like I mean some people like, oh, cause you got a daughter now, push it. But if I was 21. Oh, I would keep going. I would definitely. But I'm about to be 30 this year.
Yeah.
So I was like, like it's too late for me to start my career. Yeah. By the time I'm like,
it's like, but you got to experience though. I got that experience. That's the thing. Not everyone can say that they experienced that feeling. Like stepping in the cage or in the ring and like fighting and competing. In front of a crowd, getting your hand raised, knocking somebody out in front of everyone. Like not everyone can say.
How was that feeling, man?
Man, like
it was a kick, right?
It was a high kick. Yeah, like man, it's funny because like I was.
Was it with the bad knee?
It was with the bad knee. Yeah, it was. I was the second fight. My teammate, he's a heavyweight. Shout out to Brock, man. The dude, fucking knocked out his opponent in like 5 seconds. It was like 5-6 seconds. Dude, he came out first, threw a low kick first, and then he threw a right hand, and dude just fucking like when you play GTA and like you fucking die and like you collapse.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally like that, man. The dude fucking just collapsed, bro. It was like 6 seconds. And I remember when we went back, he says like, dude, it felt like I didn't even hit anything. And I was like, fuck. And then I'm up next, I was supposed to be third, but like second fight pulled out, so I'm the second fight actually. And fight, and I remember like, and this guy, man, like I knew right away once we faced, like when we started the fight, like the first, like, it's kind of like grappling when you tie up with somebody and you feel it, like you can kind of know if they really know some shit, you know, right away. It was the same thing when I squared up and I was fighting. I was in front of him and I seen the way that he moved his hands. It was just like, oh, this guy, like I was like, man, this guy striking is weak, bro. Like it was not on my level. And I noticed that every time when he was throwing, like he would lean to either side. Like he was going to south part and he was leaning.
He was doing like the Machida style.
No, he's just fucking leaning on one side, man. He's overdoing it. And I threw a high kick. I threw 2 high kicks before that. One landed really clean and actually wobbled him. And I actually kind of overcommitted and I went and he ducked under and he got. And I think that's when he got me down. But this in the third round, like he just kept leaning. And I remember my coach was telling me, he was like, just look for the high kick. And I remember it was only like 20 seconds into the third round. And it was crazy because it was literally like autopilot mode with like when my coach say it, because like he didn't want to say throw the high kick so they can hear it, but he was like just throw it, just make them lean. And as soon as he said it, it's like fucking crazy. Like I literally went into autopilot mode. I just fucking threw it, and it just landed perfectly. Like he timed it, like and just like boom. Just went back, and it didn't feel like anything. Yeah. Like I literally didn't feel anything on my leg, bro. I don't know if it's obviously from the adrenaline, but like it didn't feel like anything. And then
when the fight was over, you felt everything, dude.
It was just like aggression and like I started pounding my chest. I felt like a fucking a king. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I never had that type of feeling no more. So
my first knockout was like I was probably like 10.
10?
Like, I was like, man, I'm telling you, I was a fucking beast.
Yeah, like
going at it. I don't know if the kid just fucking fell because he didn't want to fight because I was whooping his ass. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm going pop, 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 boom, boom, then doing all my thing. And then first round was over. My coach was like, bro, just let your jab go. You're playing with it. Why when you throw your jab, come with a hook? And I'm like, nah, that don't make sense to me. And I'm like, nah. And I told him, nah. So like I walked in, right, and I was like, man, I was already mad because he told me I'm losing the fight. So I'm already mad. So I'm like, I look at the guy and I was like, fuck this, so I'm going. boom, boom. We were going by, but he hits me, and I just fucking cock back, and it was like the ugliest fucking punch. Just boom, catch him, and he just goes swoop, and I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, and I'm like, my coach is like, go to the corner, so I'm like, all right, ran to the corner.
This was a boxing fight?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Go to the corner, and he's like, they counting, and the guy, like, the referee was like, nah, it's over, because he's like, the guy just stood there, but I was like, it feels so good, like,
yeah, it feels fucking good.
Like my hand when I hit him, I was like, ooh, but like I had a knockout when I was street fight, and that one I kind of like felt bad because I felt my knuckle like going into his fucking face. But
it's a hard school, you know.
He fucking went to sleep. I'm telling you, he was like stuck, like how you said, but he was snoring. And I'm like, fuck, did I kill this guy? Like, so I waited until like all his homies, like I'm sitting there like, my cousin, come on, let's go. And I'm like, nah, I have to see if he's okay, bro. Like, he's like, what the fuck? I was like, come on. And so he grabbed me, but when he grabbed me, the guy was like, oh shit, what happened? So then I just took off running. I put that motherfucker to sleep. Next thing, after that, he didn't fucking do anything to me because he thought because I was short. So he's like, oh, this fucker. But I know how to throw my punches. I know how to fucking throw my punches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But man, it was a pleasure having you, man. I've you know, as you're talking to another fighter.
Appreciate
man. And you're more than welcome to come back. You know, anytime. If you got a fight, you want to promote it. You know, we have a fucking stage here so we can promote. People could go see you because I know you still have to sell tickets, right?
Yeah. So
like, you know, whenever you have a fight, hit me up. I fucking throw it on here. You know, I would love to go see you fight, man, because I miss that environment. You know?
Yeah.
I miss that, but
let's make it work.
You know, I might have to go and train a little bit too. You know, just to be in shape again. Because I don't want to. I have a daughter now. I don't want to be like fighting. Something happens and I'm in the middle of something and I get tired. Yeah. So I'll probably just get back to it. Just to train. Help you guys out too.
The love's gonna come back once you start training again.
Yeah.
It's gonna click again.
So you're more than welcome to come back. You're part of the WOODZ family now. Usually I have people sign my table, but this fucking marker's not working. So, but I will get him to sign the table. You guys will see on Instagram. I have shirts, but I have small. I don't know if that fits you.
It'll fit me, but I'll be kind of suctions into it,
Yeah.
But,
so I have a shirt. I'll see if I have a medium, but I think I have all smalls. But I'll check if I have a medium, so you can take wear it to your fight or something. Do whatever you have to do with it.
But shout out for sure.
For sure, man. So just keep it posted. When is your next fight? So we get I know you recover.
So next fight, obviously, it's gonna be after February for sure.
For sure.
Because I feel like my knee will be in good shape after that.
Yeah.
But until then, man, like I said, I'll keep you posted.
For
I
sure.
definitely do want to have you come out and see me fight.
Hell yeah.
And I definitely will give you a shout out for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate you for having me on and stuff
Hell
like
yeah,
that, man.
man.
From a fighter to another fighter.
Yeah.
And especially one who's been there and done that,
Yeah.
it connects.
Bro, you sound like you from Hawaii.
Huh?
You sound like you from Hawaii.
What do you mean?
Like you have that Hawaiian accent, yeah, brother.
Oh no, it's just.
Yeah.
It's
tree.
I got that Islander in me still. I'm Filipino, but my bloodline is probably my genes are all in that.
Yeah, because when you first came out, you was like, "What's up, brother?" And I'm like, I just think Hawaiian. I was like, all right, for sure. Like, hell yeah.
It's just how I talk, man. It's not some part of my body,
Yeah, it's like, it's tree, man. It's tree. It's Tacoma, bro. Because, fucking Joey Coy, fucking funniest guy in the world.
I know Joey Coy, yeah.
But, yeah, man. So if you guys don't follow the podcast, make sure you guys will follow the podcast. It's In the WOODZ Pod. Tap in with us. It's I drop every Friday. every I forgot. Sunday or Monday. Damn, I forget. I haven't done this in a while, man. Sunday or Monday, it depends how I feel, man. Tap in. Remember, our goal this year is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So help me out here. Also, follow me on Instagram, ABCubanPR. Tap in with me too. Also, I'm on TikTok. So if you guys don't want to follow me, if you don't follow me on TikTok, ABCuban_PR. So where can I find you?
My Instagram is JCapMMA, and that's where you can find me.
You can watch him train. What do you train at? Shout out your gym.
Shout out to Carlson, Gracie, Riverside. That's the Instagram. Carlson, Gracie, Riverside. So if you guys want to follow them, you know, we do a free week of training. You know, if you guys are local, come train. It's one of the best gyms in the IE. It's proven with our winning percentage. The fighters that we train out, we got UFC fighters. And, you know, if you're a family, you got kids, you know, we got our kids classes are big too. Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, you know, we got it all. You know, so come through and show some love.
Andre, if you see this shit, bro, I'm waiting for you to hit me back. I'm still waiting for you to read my message. So I know you're big, but you know, you can still hit me up. But guys, always stay blessed, be blessed, one love.
Hey, Sean, you a genius, nigga.